And another, Representative Elijah Cummings, a Democrat from Maryland, asked her, "Do you think you're the right person for this job?" That is the $64,000 question, isn't it? You're supposed to be in charge, and while you know this kind of behavior is going on, you do nothing to curtail it, and the maximum punishment is a 2-week suspension. You use bureaucratic backwater BS as an excuse not to do anything else. These people violated the oath they took to enforce the laws that they're supposed to be enforcing. How on earth do they get away with keeping their jobs? If there really is that many ways to duck and dodge and keep your job as a federal employee, then maybe we should all become federal employees. Let's find a way, shall we? For crying out loud, that is ridiculous. Made it very clear when one of the ranking Democrats on the committee is calling you out, then your job is in danger. And make no mistake about it, the House Oversight Committee will take steps that are necessary to make something happen. The question is, will this eventually be pushed under a rug somewhere and then forgotten? Or is this a case where the public now, thanks to reporting and news outlets and shows like this, will we keep enough of the spotlight on here that eventually Americans will demand action? Because again, just like with our local police officers, our federal officers and federal agents have to be held to a higher standard. You very easily could consider this taking a bribe. When you're there to stop the cartels and the cartels are paying for your recreational activity, where you're giving up your weapons and your personal electronic devices, that puts you in a possible world of hurt. The fact that this has come out now means that it can't be used to blackmail or extort these people. Unless, of course, the fact that these names haven't come out. So the individuals, especially if any of them are relatively high up or any of them happen to be married back here in the States and could face serious consequences through a divorce, they still have a lot of things to want to keep hidden here. This must be made public so that the threat of extortion by DEA adversaries, the cartels in this particular case, so that they can't use this against them, thereby use it against us, the American public, because we're the ones put at risk when these people drop the ball. It's just that simple. We've got ISIS just across the border, and we've got agents playing around in Colombia, and if they're doing it in Colombia, you know it's happening in other places too. You know it is. I want to know where and when it became part of their culture that they accepted that it's okay to behave this way. These people have been given badges and they've taken an oath. They've sworn an oath to uphold a specific set of laws. And the ones that are going to places like Bogota and Mexico and that are directly involved with fighting the drug cartels, they're taking serious risk. They're in harm's way. And I understand, you work hard, you need to play hard. And I'm not going to condone their actions. I just know that I can understand the mentality that led them to thinking that a sex party is okay. It's not. They can find other ways to recreate. But at no point in time is it ever okay to let the cartels, your sworn enemy, pay for it. No matter what it is. Where is the higher standard? Where is the honor? Where is the sense of duty, the sense of purpose? These people are violating their oaths, and they're violating the trust to the American people. They should be fired. They may be great agents other than this, but it only takes one serious issue to make you lose a job in the private sector. I could be the greatest production manager ever of a certain manufacturing company, and if I go in and I completely ignore a safety protocol and somebody gets hurt because of it, I deserve to be fired. 5 years, 10 years, 20 years of quality service without an incident. If I purposely ignore something that I know is wrong, and somebody gets hurt because of it, then that should be me out the door. So there is no years of service or great job you're doing otherwise. This is the type of seriousness. They're breaking multiple laws beyond just breaking their oath. And we can't have people in positions of law enforcement, no matter what that position is, if they're willing and capable of breaking their oath. Period. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take one last break, and then we're going to come in and wrap it up. We're going to talk about the title story. I hate waiting to the very end, but I thought these were more important than that. I just thought this was a story that would get some folks' attention. Now we're going to talk about Al Sharpton and his upcoming hunger strike. So stay with me. We'll be right back.
Delving past the headlines, sorting through the media bias, exposing the propaganda, and challenging you to use your brain. It's time to tap into the truth.
Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed time to tap into the truth. How about that for the old promo? That used to be the way we rolled into the show, and I still like that. We made changes, of course. Got a lot of feedback. Some folks just didn't particularly like the music. I'm always going to be fond of that. I think that's a very good descriptive opening to the show. So every now and then I'm going to play that in remembrance of how the show started. At any rate, promised you that we would talk now about Al Sharpton. Now, Al Sharpton, of course, has been one of our favorite people for a long time. He is a genuine, undisputed race baiter. There's absolutely no question about it. This man makes a living over keeping the racial divide where it is. He's not interested in solutions. He's not interested in reaching out. But this newest little stunt is very interesting, and I thought it kind of odd when I first heard it, but then I actually read the rest of the article, and then it really became clear that this is more a joke than anything else. Although he's completely serious, and so are the many people that are dealing with him. Now, I came across this story over at redstate.com, so if you want to check out there. It seems that Al, the Reverend Sharpton, is so dead set on Loretta Lynch being confirmed as our new Attorney General, because, Eric Holder has stepped down. Probably so that he's out of office long enough to receive a presidential pardon before the occupier is out of office. I'm sure that's what this is. I mean, let's not forget, Fast and Furious was all Eric Holder. At least he's going to be the fall guy for it. And it was so illegal, he's going to need a pardon. I have a feeling that his retirement from the office at this point, his resignation, has a lot to do with having to be out of office for a certain amount of time before he can receive that pardon. They just don't want the next president, especially if it looks like it may be someone other than Hillary Clinton, that might come in and, I don't know, look at the possibility of criminal charges against him. Not that you should face criminal charges if you've committed a crime. How crazy is that? But anyway, let's get back to the story, because this is hilarious. Now, my first initial reaction, Al Sharpton threatens hunger strike if Loretta Lynch is not confirmed as AG. And I'm thinking, what? Okay. Now, of course, this is even less of a joke than it seems to me, because, Al Sharpton, the Reverend Al Sharpton, although I'm not sure who reveres him exactly, other than some loons on the left maybe still do. He's lost a lot of weight in recent years. When he took on his show over at MSNBC, don't know how you get to do all the stuff he does as an activist and still supposedly be a commentator on a news show anywhere, but he lost a lot of weight for TV. He's not the same big guy. And if he was that same big guy, I would say go ahead with the hunger strike, at least for a few weeks. It'll do you some good. Not that I couldn't use it to lose a little weight, so I probably shouldn't throw too many stones there. But, Al has lost a lot of weight. So, he's rather thin. He's almost sickly looking, quite honestly. He doesn't look as healthy as he did before. But then I get into this article, and I've just got to read it to you, or at least I'll read you the highlights, the Reader's Digest version. It turns out that this so-called hunger strike means even less than you would expect anything from Al Sharpton to mean, because the bottom line here is that an advocacy group founded by the Reverend Al Sharpton, along with female civil rights leaders, they're launching a hunger strike where they're going to break up into groups, and these groups of people are going to take turns, alternating days, where they decide that they're going to abstain from eating food until Lynch is confirmed to replace Eric Holder. The new AG. So in other words, nobody's actually going to go on an actual hunger strike. Nobody's going to be in any kind of danger of starving to death whatsoever. So if Loretta Lynch is not confirmed as the new Attorney General, nobody in this group is going to run the risk of starving. They just want to look cool while complaining about Loretta Lynch, because in 2015, of course, that's what the Democratic Party leadership's all about. As long as there's a social media buzz and the right people are murmuring compliments, that's all that matters. Now, something else that's worth keeping in mind is that the only reason Loretta Lynch hasn't already been confirmed, because they're going to confirm her, is because the Democrats are doing their version of a filibuster, and they're trying to filibuster an anti-human trafficking bill that they've been blocking. The reason they've been blocking that, we talked about this like 3 weeks ago on the Sunday show, they're blocking this human trafficking bill, well,